All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're joined now by Carol Roth, CNBC Contributor, author of the New York Times bestseller, The Entrepreneur Equation, and a judge on Mark Burnett's new technology and competition show, America's Greatest Makers. Carol, we only have a minute here, but we'll have the whole next segment. What your impressions from the governor off the bat?
Absolutely loved everything that he said. I really do see Texas in a true leadership position. And I love the fact that he said that we're not defined by the way that we're challenged, but the way that we respond to those challenges. And I think that that's such an important takeaway, both personally and professionally. And I guess if we want to throw another one in there, politically as well, Steve.
Absolutely. All right, stay where you are. Lots more with Carol Roth. Your phone calls at 877-NEWSMAX, 877-NEWSMAX. And up next, to start the segment, John Bachman will be here. He has a report on the New York Times story, hit piece, if you will, on Donald Trump and women. So a lot ahead, and Bill Kristol still to come. Don't go away. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll come back with Carol Roth and your calls at 877-NEWSMAX, 877-639-7629. But first, Newsmax TV's John Bachman joins us with reaction to the New York Times piece, both by Donald Trump and the women who is featured in it. John?
Steve, according to the New York Times reporters, this story was supposed to expose a side of Donald Trump that we have not heard or seen much about in the past, but as soon as it was published, it basically started to unravel.
I just really felt like that they misled me into that the entire time, into that article, and that it was almost a trap.
Donald Trump's ex-girlfriend, Roanne Brewer-Lane. She's the centerpiece of that New York Times story titled Crossing the Line, How Donald Trump Behaved with Women in Private. Lane spending the day on TV slamming the reporting and the New York Times itself.
I did not have a negative experience with Donald Trump. I made it very clear many times that I had a very pleasant relationship with Donald.
The article, according to its writers, was supposed to use interviews to, quote, reveal unwelcome advances and, quote, unsettling workplace conduct. But today, the Times was forced to defend it.
I interviewed Roanne Brewer-Lane, and I'm going to let her speak for herself.
The Times piece also dives into Trump's reputation as a boarding school ladies' man, his focus on women's looks, and his history of beauty pageants. As for the anecdote involving Roanne Brewer-Lane, it describes a scene at Trump's Mar-a-Lago club in 1990. The recently divorced, then 44-year-old Trump gave the 26-year-old model a tour of the resort and then asked her to put on a swimsuit. The Times story makes it sound like Trump was trying to objectify Lane, but she says this.
I was actually flattered by.
A hit piece.
A hit piece.
I'm a hit piece.
A hit piece, not a hit piece.
For now, Trump may have been vindicated, but it's highly doubtful it will be the last time the media tries to hit him when it comes to his issues with women.
Is there any dispute that Trump has used controversial language about women? There is not.
Now, there has also been a lot of speculation that this story may have been leaked to the New York Times by the Clinton campaign. It may also show that if they do have an opposition research file on Trump, it may not be as juicy as some people had thought. Trump, Steve, is also planning on unleashing a torrent of attacks on Clinton as well. Back to you.
All right, John, I bet he is. And Carol Roth, CNBC Contributor, author of the bestseller, The Entrepreneur Equation. Carol, to me, I don't care who unleashed it. If the Clinton camp, leaked this, then they're just dumber than I ever thought they were. But this is going to open the door for even more. And Trump has pledged to go all out against Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton and the women in their lives.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I don't know how young and dumb the people are who are discussing this had to be to not realize that this, like you said, it doesn't just open the door, it like blasts it open wide. It creates an entire vacuum to go after Bill Clinton, who ironically has the same first name and first initial as Bill Cosby, and a lot of similarities between the two of them. Of all the things Hillary Clinton doesn't want to have to contend with this election, it should be her husband and his history with women. And for them to even think that this is a possible viable angle is completely and utterly baffling to me, Steve.
Well, and what gets me, well, it doesn't get me. I'd be shocked if it were otherwise. But there are women out there on the other side. And you could bet the New York Times won't be interviewing them and doing an above-the-fold story on them and with the accusations. And I heard one of the anchors on CNN today who wouldn't let me talk about Hillary defending a child rapist, which is fine. She was a lawyer, but then laughing and bragging about getting him off early and easy. I couldn't bring that up. And today someone tried to bring up that Clinton settled an $850,000 suit with Paula Jones and talked about what he did. And the anchor said, oh, no, we're not going there. I mean, how do you operate with that double standard?
You can't operate. And so I think that the one benefit is that if there's anybody who can operate in that arena, it's Donald Trump. And he certainly is not going to hold back. He's not going to hold back on the piece that you said about Hillary defending the rapist. He's not going to hold back on any of the allegations. He's probably not going to hold back talking about Bill Clinton going on Epstein's private plane to this island where allegedly there were all of these underage women that were kept from time to time.
You're talking about the recent story with the flight logs that showed Bill Clinton traveled 20-something times on what they called the Lolita jet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that Donald Trump is going to open his mouth and talk about this over and over and over again. And so if the other media isn't covering it, Trump's own brand of media will. So I guess that's one incredible benefit that we will get out of this.
Well, it's going to be interesting. All right, let's get to the phones at 877 Newsmax. And first up is Jim from Chicago. Hello, Jim.
Hey, how you doing, Steve? Love Newsmax.
Thank you.
Show.
Thank you, sir.
And Carol, it's wonderful to see you on Steve's show. I was just curious about something. One of the biggest issues for this next president is going to be the economy. And Hillary's always talked about it's got to be a woman this time, and women are the strongest, and they can fix all of this, and she's going to make everything good. And I'm just wondering, isn't it kind of a slap in the face to all women for her to now say, I'm going to let a man do that job, being her husband?
I don't know. Carol, what do you think, Carol?
Well, I think Jim is very sage, and obviously he's from Chicago, so that certainly helps my hometown. But it absolutely is, and the challenge with Hillary Clinton, and the reason why she has such a challenge with women, is that she talks out of both sides of her mouth. She says things like, women should get equal pay for equal work, and then vote for me because I'm a woman. And she continually plays both sides. So you're right to say that I can get this done, but then at the same time say things like, oh, well, I'm going to have Bill in charge of the economy. And I don't know if you remember during an earlier debate when she said she also wanted to pick out the flowers for the White House and arrange the dinners too. She's going to continue to put herself in this very, very weird position. And I just don't think women are going to buy it.
All right. Jim, anything else, my friend? All right. Jim, I appreciate the call. Cindy is in Prescott Valley, Arizona. Hi, Cindy.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks for calling.
I'm just fine, thank you. I saw a report earlier this morning about, Mr. Trump, and I was appalled by it because I've also been married a couple of times, and I, too, have become rather, cold or bitter, if you will, and I'm feeling that he's probably been very hurt by his relationships, and he's only had been defensive, maybe in his behavior, because the women are only going after him for one thing, and that's his money. Okay? So I think they should leave the gentleman alone. I've been a Democrat all my life, and since I've seen him, I'm going to vote for him.
Well, that's interesting, Cindy. Why? Why, Cindy, why as a Democrat all your life are you going to vote for him rather than Hillary?
Well, because he stands up to the system that I'm sick and tired of.
What are you surprised,
all their
Carol?
lies and bureaucracy, sir?
No, I'm asking Carol if she's surprised.
I am not surprised. I think Cindy is representative of people across the political spectrum who are sick and tired of being taken advantage of by the people who are supposed to be serving them. And this is a consistent theme. Trump is more than just a person. He is an ideology, and he's an ideology about sticking it to the system, dismantling it, and getting people in there who are going to take care of the constituents. So I'm not surprised by what Cindy says, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that.
Cindy, thank you very, very much for your call. I appreciate it. Let's go to Frederick, Maryland, and say hello to Donna. Hi, Donna.
Hi, Steve. Hi, Carol.
Hi.
I just wanted to I find this whole Trump thing such a disgrace. They're really trying to grab at straws, and they've underestimated the power of the public. The public isn't being spoon-fed the lies anymore. They're not buying into it. Where small smarter, we're wiser, we're much better informed thanks to Newsmax and other wonderful sites out there like Drudge who help support us. And I think as far as this whole gender nonsense, the real war, and I mentioned this to you last time, Steve, is against white Americans and even African Americans too. That's where the men, more so men than women. So I think it's time for a really cool change. I think Donald Trump is a breath of fresh air, and I can't wait to see who his VP pick is going to be.
All right. Well, let's hope it's not a Chris Christie. We'll get to that when it happens. Thank you, Donna. Carol, let's fit in Monica from Bloomfield, New Jersey, real quick. Hello, Monica.
Hi, Steve. Hi, Carol. I just wanted to make a comment to you, Steve. I saw you on CNN. You were talking to Carol
Costello,
and you were trying to get your point across regarding Bill Clinton and the sex.
Well, no. The woman that Hillary, the child rapist that Hillary defended.
The 12-year-old and how she was laughing, how the guy beat the lie detector test.
Right.
Okay, and I find that how the media, like Fox and CNN, completely ignores the gravity of this man's crimes, to the pettiness that Donald Trump doesn't like women and goes as far as to think that we're dumb, that we don't do our research, and that we don't have this at our fingertips.
It's a double standard, Monica. That's for sure. Final word, Carol, 20 seconds.
People are angry. You heard it from Monica. You heard it from Cindy. People are upset. And this is going to be the tone that's going to take over the election. People are going to sit home and not vote for Hillary. They're going to come out for Trump. I think it's going to be a landslide.
Carol, I thank you. Bill Kristol, Stacey Washington, and more of your calls next. Don't go away.